It's food o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I've contemplated whether I really need to review this one. I've decided to because, well, I picked it up. It was part of the Cathedral City 3 meals for £10. This is their cheesy lasagna. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you have had lasagna, which is why I contemplated whether I really needed to do the review. But as it was 3 meals for £10, I thought, why not? Let's do it. It might be great. It might be the best lasagna I've eaten in my life. It might be bland. It might be a bit boring. Let's get into it and find out. So, beef ragu layered with egg pasta and cheddar cheese. Bechamel sauce. Never heard of it. Topped with cheddar cheese. So there we go. I'm going to try bechamel sauce for the first time in my life, and that's a posh name for white sauce these days. So there's a look at it. That's going to go. The interesting thing, I suppose there are a few interesting things to look at here. Is it cardboard? Is it plastic? We better have a look at the instructions. It might be one of those. From frozen gas mask, remove the outer packaging and film. Right, okay, so the film comes out. Oh, it's cardboard. That makes a great difference for me. The thought of plastic in the oven, for me, it puts me off these ready meals. Right, so that goes in the oven for 50 minutes on a baking tray. Actually, a fan-assisted oven is 50 minutes. A gas oven is 1 hour. 1 hour in a gas oven. Blimey, October 2022. I bet the meat gonna be spinning round. Right, it'll also go in the microwave for 14 minutes. Right, gas mark 6. Let's go and put this in the oven then. Gas mark 6 for 1 hour. What I'm going to do now is put this in the oven for an hour and knock a couple of beer reviews out while it's in the oven. Right, I'll be back in an hour when this is, or back now when this is done. Okay, here is the lasagna from Cathedral City, our cheesy lasagna. And I did indeed, with the hour that this was in the oven, do a couple of beer reviews. This was I did 2 Czech lagers, which were terrific. Really good. Now, I could put this in a plate, but I think the best thing to do is just cut around the edge. And just have a look at it. So, what I've noticed is some parts of the cheese has kind of just crisped and gone a little bit golden, and there's other parts that's gone what I like to call like a caramelized. It's more of a caramelized. It smells delicious, it really does. After a couple of beers, it smells delightful. So cutting this open then. It should be pretty good. So with it being 3 for £10, you're talking 3 for £10 it's about £3.33 for this lasagna. If you were to buy this in a pub, if you were to buy this in a restaurant, then I think it would cost an awful lot more than that. Blimey, a lasagna in a pub these days probably costs about £9, doesn't it? So a third of the price if you buy it and cook it yourself from Iceland. It does have a certain... I'm not going to mess about. Even I'm not tasting it. I've licked the fork. It has that tinned, you know, like a tinned bolognese or a tinned all-day breakfast. Food from a tin. It's got that food from a tin smell. It smells wonderful. I'm not getting away from it. It just has that slightly kind of cheap, that slightly cheap tin of soup smell to it. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's hot. So, flavour. What? Flavour. I like Cathedral City. I think Cathedral City, if you buy a pack of their vintage or some of their extra mature cheddar, it's terrific cheese, it really is. I don't think, now I'm giving this the best shot. It's not, it's almost, I don't know what I did with the packaging. It's not layers of mince. If you make, I make my own lasagna normally, and I put a massive, like, I'll use about 750 grams of mince in my own lasagna. Now, I had, one of the other reasons why I was so reluctant to kind of review this morning was I had lasagna for my tea last night. Not lasagna, spaghetti, homemade spaghetti bolognese. I made myself some spaghetti bolognese with the family last night. And I was due to review this, and I have reviewed this. But I'm glad I have. I'm glad I reviewed it, because this is nothing like my homemade lasagna. This is nothing like a big load of mince in your face. This is more like the taste of semolina. Cheese sauce and semolina with the, I mean, if you're looking at that there, you can see there's a little bit of mince on the bottom. It's mostly a combination of cheese sauce, lasagna sheets, and more cheese, and a little bit of beef. A little bit of beef. I mean, just look at it. I'm dissecting. Let me grab all of this thing with a tea towel. But here's a dissect. I'm pulling this apart from the bottom. The amount of mincemeat in this pasta dish is next to nothing, really. But, and there is a big but, I am enjoying it. There's something about me loving a cheap, easy meal. I put this in the oven, forgot about it, come into the bar, did 2 beer reviews, drunk 2 really good Czech lagers with some nice crisps. And I forgot all about this cheesy lasagna in the oven. And there's something about that I really, really like. It's bang it in the oven, don't worry about it. Eat it, job done. Now, I know people, I've got family members that they will make their breakfast and immediately after, like if you spend a weekend with them, say you go away with a weekend with family members. I've noticed this and I'm like, wow, that's like, for me it's insane. But I've seen somebody prepare a breakfast for an hour, and as soon as they've finished that preparation of the breakfast, and they've eaten the breakfast, they're already talking about what everybody in the room would like for lunch and how could they prepare it. And then as soon as people have had their lunch, then they're talking about the evening meal. How can they prepare for the evening meal? So you're thinking to yourself, you've wasted a whole day worrying about food. I've never had that interest. I've never had that interest to spend multiple hours in a kitchen. I like my own lasagna, I really do. But there's something about standing in your home bar with your beer, smacking something in the oven nice and quickly. Slightly cheap tasting, slightly semolina-like tasting. You know they've cheated you out of mince. There's not enough mince meat in here. You know you've been cheated out of mince meat. But there's enough cheese. There's enough lasagna. There's enough of everything to keep you going and smiling and enjoying the sunshine. And importantly for me, drinking a beer. Life for me is about balance. Life is about balance. There's nothing more than I like on a Saturday afternoon than chucking a quick couple of easy hot dogs on the barbecue, sitting in the sun and enjoying a few beers. But at the same time, the next day on a Sunday, if it's slightly cold and wet, I'll buy a chicken, I'll prepare all the veg, we'll make homemade gravy, we'll spend hours on a Sunday dinner. So I think life is about balance. These meals exist for that very reason. For that very, like, there's not much mincemeat in here. But that's okay. That really is okay. Because this meal is not that important. This is more about substance. This is more about doing a job so I can enjoy a beer. So I'm going to say for £3.33, yes, there's not enough mince. It tastes nothing like the lasagna that I can make in my kitchen. But then again, I use 750 grams of mince in my homemade lasagnas. But there's something cheeky about this. There's something cheeky and flavoursome, and I've not had to worry too much about it. But I like it enough to give it an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!